Joe Biden in 2020. It's hard to believe this has to be said, but unlike this president, I'll do my job to take responsibility. I won't blame others, and I'll never forget that the job isn't about me. It's about you. Joe Biden in 2022.
It's gonna go up. Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
So in 2020, I'll take responsibility. In 2022, Russia's responsible, man! But Joe, let's take a look at this chart here. So this is when you were sworn in as the president. And here's gas right before Putin invaded. So was Putin responsible then too for that gas hike? Let's just do some quick math here. That's less than 250 all the way up to almost 350. So a 40 to 50% increase pre-Putin invasion. It's nothing to do with your policies at all. We'll get more to that later. I'm Tyler Zed. Welcome to Zeducation. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another episode of That Didn't Age Well. This is the longest running series on this channel. And here on this series, we highlight hypocritical and lying politicians, mainstream media, and celebrities and entertainers. Nobody likes hypocrites. Nobody likes liars. But that's what we get here with politicians in this country, sadly. Example, Joe Biden. He's on this list multiple times today, specifically about the gas stuff. It's not his fault, guys. It's not his fault, obviously. We'll get more to that here in a bit. And I just want to show you this graph. Here's some more perspective of the years. You can see the Trump years there into 2016 under Obama. It was pretty high as well. And pre-Putin, I can't believe Putin did all of that gas hike before he invaded Ukraine too. I just can't believe it, Before we get to today's top 10 list of things that didn't age well, just to let you know, there is a bonus Zeducation video over on the Substack channel. We're gonna do another That Didn't Age Well over there because, you guys, we don't know how long we have left on YouTube. A lot of weird things are happening here. People being unsubscribed, videos not being recommended. Things are changing on here, and we could be nixed tomorrow. So if you like the content here on Zeducation, head over to zedmedia.substack.com and sign up for the email list. It's completely free. You'll get access to most of the content over there for free. And those of you over there supporting us, thank you so much. There's a lot more to come over on the Substack, so stay tuned. But first, before you do anything, we have to get to today's video, today's list of things that didn't age well. So if you are ready for that, head down and like this video. And if you are new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now, on to today's list of things that didn't age well. Number 10. For number 10 here, you guys know I like finance, I like the stock market, I like crypto, I like the science of money in general. And today, we go to one of the biggest voices in that world, sadly. When here's a tweet from Jim Cramer. Theranos, how could so many smart people be faked out on that board? You all know what happened with Theranos. This lady was a fraud, and Jim is asking, how could people just be duped by her? But Jim, here's you.
Compare you, I usually don't do this, to Steve Jobs and what he did for computing. I regard you as a visionary, next generation person. Is this the kind of ridiculous pressure that nobody needs?
Comparing her to Steve Jobs, calling her a visionary, that's you. But you're criticizing the board there. Jim, come on now. Number 9. Back to some oil and some perspective about what's going on and what they don't necessarily tell you. They like to say, ooh, oil's getting pumped up. We're producing more oil, but here's something they don't tell you. September 6th, 2018. The U.S. just became a net oil exporter for the first time in 75 years. That's from Bloomberg. First time, 75 years. We were an oil exporter, a net exporter in this country. That's amazing. Now, here's what they don't tell you. This is February 18th, 2022. The U.S. will be a net oil importer in 2022. Can they just bring up the net importer? Bring up that and see how they deflect and avoid that question, because this is the truth and this is not good. It's not good for us. Number 8. For this one, we go to the hysteria and the zealousy between parties. This one is just beautiful. Check this out. Here's a tweet from this guy in 2020. When Speaker Pelosi ripped up Trump's speech, she spoke from the majority. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Praising Nancy Pelosi's behavior. You guys all remember that clip. She'd ripped it in half, made a big scene. And this guy was praising that. But here's this guy now. Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene are pure trash and should be reprimanded for their disrespect. State of the Union 2022. So he was pissed about them yelling, but he was okay with Nancy causing an even bigger scene. This is exactly what is wrong with politics in America. I will say I don't support either of them behaving like that at the State of the Union. Not to mention though that the State of the Union is just a big show, no matter who's in office. But to see both parties acting like this is where we're going as a country. Number 7, more of the partisan orange man bad. When he does it, it's bad, and now when he is gone and Biden does it, it's good. This guy, this is a rep from California. In 2018, breaking, Trump administration plans to sell 210 anti-tank missiles to Ukraine in major escalation of direct lethal aid. And this is how this guy responded.
This is a dangerous development. This will only escalate tensions in a conflict that has already killed over 10,000 Ukrainians. Our government should be actively promoting a negotiated solution, not introducing more lethal weaponry.
How dare Orange Man? Unbelievable. Here's the same guy now.
I was moved and inspired listening to President Zelensky this morning. His pain at the senseless murder of babies and children by Putin was palpable. We must provide Ukraine with more weapons and money to wage a just fight for their freedom and survival.
So, weapons under Trump, bad. Weapons now under Biden, good. Of course, this is how Washington, D.C. works. Number 6. This one is gold, and this one just came out last Thursday. Amazing, right here. Let me give you a flashback first. When this whole Hunter Biden story broke in 2020, this is Jen Psaki. Hunter Biden story is Russian disinfo. Dozens of former intel officers say. This is what they do. Dozens of former intel officers. So they try to trick you with the appeals to authority. This is what they do. This is perfect dirty politics 101 in play here. And the NPR public editor. Why haven't you seen any stories from NPR about the New York Post Hunter Biden story? We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. And we don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. This is mainstream media. This is how they treated that story. New York Post reported on a real factual thing with very disturbing information on it, the laptop. And this is how they treated it. New York Post got pretty much banned from Twitter. They couldn't post anything until they deleted that tweet. They suppressed this story. They called it Russian disinfo. But now, in 2022, Hunter Biden's infamous laptop confirmed in New York Times report. So there's only two things here. Either the New York Post was right in reporting on this story, or now the New York Times is spreading Russian disinfo. How dare they? I think it's that one, obviously. How dare the New York Times? Wow, ban them. Ban them. Ban them from Twitter. Call them Russian agents. Do all of it because they're confirming the laptop. Wow. Number 5. For number 5, we step away from politics a little bit and we go to sports. Check this guy out. Football from Tom Brady's final touchdown pass sells for more than $500,000 at auction. But it wasn't his final touchdown pass. This poor bastard. Check this out. Tom Brady says he's returning as Tampa Bay Buccaneers QB next season. So whoever bought that for $500,000, that sucks. And here's another football player. This guy, Calvin Ridley, receiver for the Falcons. I bet $1,500 total. I don't have a gambling problem. So he bet $1,500. It's against the rules in the NFL. And he lost $11 million in his salary. Not the best wagering there. You know, that did not age well at all. So, number 4. The last couple years has been very weird to see how people have behaved and reacted to certain information and then denied it when it kind of shatters their whole purview, their whole paradigm about the world. Here's just an example of what I'm talking about. So this blue checkmark tweeted this last September 2021. They should be following CDC guidance. No excuses. And you're correct. It is not happening on the ground. So follow the CDC guidance. Follow the science. Follow the CDC, what they say. But here's that same person now. Indoors in a public place, wear a mask. Ignore the guidance. It's the right thing to do. So, follow the guidance last year, but now don't. The CDC is literally saying you don't have to. But you're literally saying, I ignore the guidance. This is the problem, though. A lot of this, now that it's kind of seemingly changing, we'll just say that. I'm just going to say that. It's getting rid of a lot of purpose for some people. This was, for 2 years, people had to survive. They had to wear this stuff and follow the guidance, and now the guidance is changing, and they don't want to because that purpose goes away with that. It's sad. It's really sad. And speaking of the guidance and the leadership that we have guiding us through all of this, there's a lot of confusion, and for good reason. Because here's Biden the week of his State of the Union. This is how he acted. On Monday, outside by himself, masked. On Tuesday at the State of the Union, with a bunch of people indoors, unmasked. On Wednesday, masked. On Thursday, in a group of people, unmasked. So when the leaders behave like this, they tell you to do something, and then they do this, it's very confusing. This is horrific leadership, and this is the reason why Biden's polls are tanking, and we're going to get to that at the end of this video. Number 3, more examples of how Washington, D.C. works and how the partisanry, anything the other party says, ignore it, say it's wrong, but then when you're in charge, it doesn't matter even if it goes against what you said in the past. Example, 2018, the price of regular unleaded gas has climbed 20% over the last year, thanks to Republican policies, eating away at working families' paychecks. But according to GOP leader, you're better off now. So it was the Republicans' fault. And I just have to clarify, I have my problems with the Republican Party too. We got a lot of Democrats in this show, but in overtime, in the bonus episode, there's some Republicans, just to let you know. But back to Nancy, she's blaming the other party because it's their fault. You got to make them look bad. This is her now. Let me just say that the issue of the price of gas and the price of the oil is directly related to what is happening in Ukraine. Doesn't mean it can't go up and down without a Russian diabolical intervention into a sovereign country, but it is related to that. So it's, okay. That is accelerating the increase, no question, obviously. But you are saying it, and you and Biden and Psaki, you're all saying that that's the reason it's going up, period. There's nothing else. Zero other things contributing to that. Nothing. And that's not true. Number 2, before we get to some more oil and why it's not true that it's not the only reason it's going up, we got to get to Juicy Smolier. And this one is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is how dirty politicians, they play identity politics. They are opportunists, never waste an opportunity. You guys remember? Juicy claimed he got attacked and there was a hate crime. And politicians like Kamala and Joe Biden, they just jumped on the opportunity without any of the details. What happened today to Juicy Smolier must never be tolerated in this country. We must stand up and demand that we no longer give this hate safe harbor. That homophobia and racism have no place on our streets or in our hearts. We are with you, Juicy. Juicy Smolier is one of the kindest, most gentle human beings I know. I'm praying for his quick recovery. This was an attempted modern-day lynching. No one should have to fear for their life because of their sexuality or color of their skin. We must confront this hate. Flash forward to a couple weeks ago when Juicy was guilty of faking that hate crime.
Breaking, Juicy Smolier has been sentenced to 150 days in jail for lying to police about a racist and homophobic attack that a jury concluded the actor had staged himself. Smolier was ordered on Thursday to pay $120,000 in restitution.
Now he's out on bail again until his appeal goes through. But the judge during this sentencing literally said, "There is your name is a verb now. It's synonymous with lying," because that's how bad of a liar you are. So I just want to know if we're going to get an apology from all the politicians that jumped on this fake story. Probably not, but we can only hope. Number 1. Back to the oil and this lie that all these people, all these politicians are pushing right now. And here's Joe lying through his teeth.
Look, let me be clear about 2 other points. First, it's simply not true that my administration or policies are holding back domestic energy production. That's simply not true.
It's not true, man. Not true, but here's some AP News headlines. Keystone Pipeline nixed after Biden stands firm on permit. Not contributing, guys. Not contributing. Another one. Biden halts oil, gas leases amid legal fight on climate cost. Not freaking contributing, guys. He's not prohibiting any production. And here's how he campaigned. This is what he promised to do this. Remember this? We have to treat climate change like the existential threat it is. As president, I will end subsidies for fossil fuel corporations, ban new drilling on federal lands and waters, hold oil executives accountable, rally the world to praise the commitments of the Paris climate agreements. So you literally promised to prohibit and make it harder to drill in the States. You promised that. And you have taken action. But now you're saying you have done nothing, absolutely nothing to stop that. Believe him at his word, guys. Just believe him. He's a politician. But sadly for him, people aren't believing him. They aren't approving of his actions and his lying, his hypocrisy, because here are his polls. Look at this. The approval ratings have plummeted. Disapprove is skyrocketing. So round of applause for you, Joe. Round of applause for the American people. Not everyone is completely disillusioned. Not everyone buys into these lies. People are over the politicians. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you sick of this stuff too? Are you sick of this this show, this theater, political theater in America? Let me know in the comments which example today is the most shocking. Is any of this shocking? Are you surprised at any of this anymore? Again, let me know in the comments. Head over to zmedia.substack.com for a bonus episode for more examples. That will be up there as soon as this video comes out. Hope to see you over there. That is it for today's video. I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Education.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Idiots.